Hello everyone, my name is Daniel, founder of GoGoChart. We specialize in mobile apps marketing, so we pretty much just help apps to promote and gain UA traction and hence monetization. But today I'll talk a bit more about agencies and how agencies work, how you will work with them and why and how you choose them to vet and their value. So a bit about me, 5 years in the business. We are award-winning in terms of mobile app marketing in Hong Kong and some other parts. So let's go straight into it. Anybody worked with an agency here? Anyone? Or anyone's already an agency here? I think earlier there's some people who are specializing in monetization. The reason why you would look for an agency or why you would potentially hire an agency in some of the experience and people that we work with and shared is that, for example, sales are slow. You're not getting any user acquisition. You're not getting any sales. You're not getting any of the KPIs that you want. So you would potentially want to hire an agency or a company to do that work for you. Secondly, you would gain expertise from the marketing side, and you also unlock potential technologies you will access to, which will allow you to, instead of paying for subscriptions maybe or licenses or some of the latest technology, you can just have access to it, which could be a huge benefit to some. Number three, you can scale your marketing effort. So for example, if it's working for you, you can easily decide to scale today, this week, this month, without having to hire and train a whole team. Another couple of points. So if you've tried marketing yourself, but it's been a hit or miss, for example, it's worked for once, and then you've tried it again, it didn't work. So in businesses, you want to grow your business in a steady or maybe a growth period. So if the marketing effort that you're implementing, it's not working for you, then you will want to potentially work with an agency, maybe, perhaps, to gain that reliability, to basically grow organically. And the last couple of points, actually 5 and 6, is pretty much the same in terms of the line. So time saving and cost effectiveness. Why would you set up a new team, train them, and potentially have the risk of the marketing team potentially not delivering the result for you? That's one of the key things that most, suppose, bosses, owners, entrepreneurs would face, especially in the early stage. You know, if you're a team of developers, you either learn it by yourself, right? You either do it online, learn it by yourself, or you could try some agencies, or you could set up your own team. Now, the cost could be high, especially in Hong Kong. You know, if you want to set up a team with creatives, with years of experience in marketing. So one way to leverage that would be potentially working with agency, which you don't have to pay the upfront ongoing costs. You pay per project, you pay per campaign. So now, I've separated the slides into two lots, actually. I wanted to talk about from two angles. One, from the client side. If you are the customer yourself, how would you choose the right agency for you? And then I'll talk about the other side, from the agency's point of view. So let's talk about the client side. If you are the client today and you're looking to hire or work with an agency, how should you do it? What's the process? What are the factors? What are the elements would you look for? I think the number one thing you should do is do a DD, due diligence. You would ask your potential agencies to send you relevant case studies and references. For example, if you're looking to hire a paid search agency who would manage your PPC for you, your Google ads, Facebook ads, you would ask them, who have you helped? Have you worked in your vertical? These are fairly standard stuff. You probably know yourself, and you've done it yourself maybe. But you would be surprised some people don't do it. They fall on the trap of because of relationship. I know this guy, let's do it. But actually, you know, Andrew just gave a really performance-driven presentation. Everything is trackable, everything is measured. Actually, I think in vetting for an agency, you also need to prove that they can actually add value, in my opinion. So reference case studies and related case studies. Also get some quotes. So these are fairly typical, but some people don't do it. Get 3 quotes so you can compare and have a benchmark. You don't know if you're getting the best value for the money that you pay for. So getting a few quotes might be a good idea. But I think the last one, it actually over and supersedes the first 3, in my opinion. So we started off with nothing. Actually, Andrew's one of our very first customer in Hong Kong. So, and we had no reference back then. We had no case studies. So how would you be able to do supply and complete their due diligence? You can't really, can you? So if you're open to test the water as the client, you don't obviously spend all your budget in one potential marketing campaign or one channel, as you shouldn't. You should try several other channels. This will potentially unlock a really good relationship for the long run. They will appreciate you. I certainly do. And I think, yeah, you should definitely give them, do not eliminate the potential there by working with just because they don't have the brand, or you choose certain brands purely because they're known or they're 4As. That doesn't mean they know what to do. That doesn't mean they can deliver. So again, just always keep in mind that you should allow the opportunities to test the water. That's how we started, by the way, which I'll tell you a bit about. There will be a case study in a bit. So from the agency side, so if I'm an agency, what would be the best ideal client for me, in my opinion, in our opinion? Actually, I think number one is to recognize the value of the agency that's delivering for you. It's very important. If the client is not recognizing the value that we are delivering, it's not going to be a long term. It will be a insertion order. It'll be an IO comes in, you do it, job done, you get paid in 30 days, done. But that's not how agencies work, in my opinion. Agencies build a relationship in the long run. And you add more than just the job. You should be able to add further value. So number 2, should be profitable. The client should be profitable for me especially with a long-term relationship. So not just 1 week or 1 month, be in the years. You learn about the client's product, you learn about the client's vertical, their target audience, and maybe perhaps you'll be able to add further advice and value in certain areas. Set the right expectations. I think this is hugely important. Some customers will expect the world from you, right? They expect just because they are the customer, then they would want every bang from you. They will be like, okay, can you do this for me? Can you do the design work for me? Actually, can you just do the extra campaign for me? I'll pay you later. You know, we've experienced all kinds of customers. Some customers don't pay. Some customers don't pay on time. Some customers just simply don't pay. End of story. So I think setting the right expectations in what you deliver as well, that it's itself to manage the actual relationship. So you don't promise the world as well. You don't say to the customer, I will be able to do everything for you for the minimal cost. Yeah, it's not going to work like that. So to give you a case study, I'm not sure, Andrew's definitely probably familiar with Playtika in the same industry. They're one of the world's largest social casino company, Playtika. Actually, we started off with them with no reference. This is a real life case study I'm giving you, and they are one of our top customers right now. We've been with them for over 2.5 years, and I think the management really enjoy working with us. So we started off, actually, tell you a bit about Playtika. Founded in 2010, based in Israel, largest social casino company in the world, 2,000 employees. 22 million daily active users. I think it's higher now. And when we first approached them, actually, it was through a referral. And they asked for reference. We didn't really have much reference back then for the particular campaigns and verticals that they did. They asked for a very specific reference. And for a company like Playtika, their size, and you know, they're very talented as well, they know exactly what they want. So if you can't deliver it, you're not in the game. Done. But we've been able to work with them consistently every month for 26 months. I think that there's something there. And what, according to their words, they basically rank, companies like that, they will rank internally on their marketing campaigns and effort. They would rank all their marketing campaigns. Which agency, which team, internally, externally, are performing the best in terms of ROI and ROAS, return of advertising spend. We are always number one, always, without a doubt, always number one. And there's obviously, because we have our own technology, we have our own experience, we are also very good at what we do, which I can share a bit more later. But for this case, I wanted to go from the agency side, the angle. We started off with 10,000 as a trial budget. They asked us, hey, we usually run millions of dollars of budget, but you don't have a reference. I don't think we can work together. And I suggested perhaps we can try, test the water. And we did that. And bang, $10,000 was the first campaign. I think within 6 months they raised it to over $1 million. And then we managed the top product, WSOP, World Series of Poker, Poker Hit, Caesars Casino, Slotomania, all of their top products globally we manage. So we're responsible for all the UAs across Europe and US actually. So that's one case study I'd like to share with you guys in terms of how you can scale by proving yourself and meeting the expectations of your client. I think that's very important. Some of the clients that we work with, some are really good clients to us. Some have been with us for over 4 or 5 years. Some are fairly new. Yeah. And some you may recognize, some you may not. It's fine. We work with tons of startups as well. So it's taken us a long time to acquire such a nice portfolio. Remember, we started off with nothing. So to get zero reference to now over 2,000 apps we've worked with, I think that itself, it's a pretty good milestone. And I'm quite proud of my team, actually. So I couldn't have done it by myself, for sure. And I think there's a video I'd like to display. Not sure if it's...
The gold winner, who is also the local hero of this category, is GoGoChart Technology.
The winner is GoGoChart Technology.
So you might wonder, from all the way from Israel, and we also have clients in Europe and the US as well, why would they work with a company based all the way here in Hong Kong, right? They have 2,000 staff, 1,000 staff here, 500 staff here. They have all the money in the world, billions of dollars. Why would they work with an agency so small in Hong Kong? Like, why? You would wonder, right? It's quite simple, actually. Very simple. When you put things in perspective from the angle of measuring results, it's driven by result, right? ROI, ROAS. As long as you deliver that result to them, you get the job. So we simply deliver that month by month with growth. I think we've improved their ROAS by over 50% this year on certain products. So yeah, and this is our 5th year. Actually, we've been very lucky and fortunate being able to grow and gain plenty of cool tractions. Thank you. Is that the skip? Yeah, so I actually prefer more engaging and questions, and that's why my slides are fairly short, unlike Andrew's beautiful presentation. Thank you very much. My contact here, if you'd like to reach out to me, LinkedIn and email.
Yeah, well, let's give Daniel a round of applause. And
thank you.
Yeah, as you said, we've got some time for questions. So does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask? If so, I can... Oh, here we go. Give me a minute.
Hello.
When companies compare you guys to internal UA teams, do you actually collaborate with the internal teams, or kind of you're into like in a blind test?
Actually, we love collaborating with the internal teams and clients' internal teams. What usually happens, though, is especially in our industry, in the gaming industry or in the tech industry, companies grow quite fast. So they usually grow faster than they can hire, right? So like Playtika, for example, they were hiring like crazy, but they didn't have enough people. So what they did was, the 100 people that were working in the marketing department, they basically shifted them into a different department or different titles, retained 2 as PMs and coordinators, and just worked with us. So the CFO loves us. I mean, 78 manpower labors, and still ROAS positive. So, yeah.
I know my question is, you mentioned they were comparing you guys across different agencies or
I see, okay.
with their own UA teams. So in that competitive sense, do you guys work with the other teams, or you work independently?
It actually depends on the client and depends on the setup. It really depends, because some we would have to communicate with the current UA teams. We would actually, for example, we need a lot of information to be able to conduct a comprehensive campaign. We can't just get a 30-day report for one title and assume that we can deliver a better result without looking at probably past. For example, like the keywords, we would need a lot of histories, the bidding histories as well. So we would love to work a lot more in terms of collaborations with the internal teams. And our charges are very transparent, so they know what they're getting, and we don't just encourage spending the most budget. Actually, sometimes we say to our clients, don't spend until you're fully localized, until you're fully ready. So hence why we normally encourage and we look for a longer-term relationship, rather than spend. Yeah, don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, anyone else? Any other questions? No? If not, obviously Daniel's email address was there, and you'll be around, so you're back for the panel after our next talk as well.
Thank you.
For everyone. Yes, so thank you. We'll be seeing Daniel in about 20 minutes again. But before that, let's give him a big round of applause.